Hello me TPDs, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a video focused on products from Sephora that are totally worth the money. These are products that I 100% stand by and totally recommend to you guys. These are ones that have never let me down, okay? Regardless of the price point and regardless of the hype, these are the products that I totally think are worth the buy. So if you like these types of videos, be sure to give this one a thumbs up. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe because I do upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So you should definitely subscribe and stay a while. I'm gonna hop right in. I have so many products to share with you. You've probably seen me talk about a lot of these products because I do use them very often. I know that not everyone has a super high-end budget. Like you don't have the ability to go buy a bunch of things from Sephora because let's be real, Sephora's real expensive. I totally get that. And if you want me to do a drugstore version of this, then let me know that. This is the NARS Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. This is hella expensive for like an eyeshadow base, but in comparison to the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, I prefer this one. And the Eyeshadow Primer Potion's like a holy grail at Sephora. I think this is better. Number one, because it has a tint to it. So when you apply it to your skin, you can cover up and conceal your veins. This also just works as an amazing eyeshadow base. Aside from the tint part of it, I do have the shade Light. They do have darker shades available, and I think they also do have one that's not tinted if you prefer that. But I love this because when I use this product, none of my eyeshadows crease. They're not patchy. They don't blend weird. Like they literally apply flawlessly. So if you have not tried this, this is the best eyeshadow primer I have ever found. Now I have found kind of a dupe for it at the drugstore. It's not as good. If you're looking for an eyeshadow primer at Sephora, then I would definitely recommend this one. All right, next is from Smashbox. This is a collab with Casey Holmes. This is the Smashbox Spotlight palette in the shade Pearl. This is beautiful. This is up there at one of my favorite highlights. I have hit pan on both of these. As you can tell, these are the ones that I use the most. I don't really use this third shade over here just because it's very glittery. Like it's just got a lot of glitter in it. So I don't usually use that as a highlight, but these first two are insane. These are the two shades that I use most often, and I just mix the two. So I don't have it on my cheeks today. I probably should have. While this palette is focused on more lighter, fairer skin tones, I do believe that she has a darker one that she came out with. I just personally love this palette because highlight is so metallic and it doesn't emphasize any texture. It stays on my skin all day long. The color is perfect for me. It's kind of like a mix between a champagne and a white highlight. So it has a little bit of that in between shade going on. It's like my go-to highlight. If I had to pick a highlight, it would be between this one and the ColourPop Innuendo palette. At Sephora though, this is my favorite. All right, next is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Soft Glam palette. I am in love with her eyeshadow formulas. She does something so right. I think these are even better than Natasha Denona eyeshadows. I have tried the mini versions and I don't know if the big palettes are any different in formula. If they are, I think that's super dumb. Why would you come out with a mini size that's not the same exact formula as the full size pans? For someone that's on like a cheaper budget, they can't afford a $200 eyeshadow palette. Anyway, that's like a little side rant. I think these are better than the Natasha Denona eyeshadows that I've tried. These shimmer shades are so metallic and intense. Something about them is so like soft and powdery, yet packs a big punch. Some of my favorite shades are this one right here. It's called Rose Pink. This is gorgeous all over the lid. I also love this shade. It's called Sultry. And this one is also my favorite, Bronze. To me, nothing beats that quality. It is so freaking good. The mattes are amazing. They blend so well. They're very pigmented. Everything about this palette is just perfect. It has a shade right here to set down your lid after you've applied some primer. It also has a black. It has every shade in between. You can go a little bit more mauve-y if you want. You can go darker brown. You can go a little bit more red tone. Everything is right with this palette. So if you had to pick one palette at Sephora, this should be be at the top of the list. Next is a bronzer from Too Faced. This is the Sweethearts bronzer. It's the Baked Luminous Glow Bronzer in the shade Sweet Tea. If you like a little bit of a glowy bronzer, but you don't want a very like luminous shadow underneath your cheek that can sometimes look a little weird, this is perfect for you because one side is a little bit more shimmer and glowy than the other side, as well as it's a lighter shade. There's like a lighter shade on this side, a darker shade on this side, and you blend them together. It makes a perfect bronzer shade for me. That's what the bronzer looks like. It's a perfect shade for fair skin tones. I don't know how it would work on really deep skin tones because to me it looks like a little bit of a lighter bronzer, and maybe you would just use the darker shade, but this is a great luminous bronzer. I've always been really scared of buying bronzers and using them that don't claim to be matte because I do have oily skin. I feel like it can look really weird if you apply a luminous bronzer right underneath your cheeks, as well as a highlight, as well as a glowy blush. It's just a lot. So this is the perfect amount of matte and shimmer for me in a bronzer, where it's just that little bit of glow, but it's not distracting and unflattering. And I also love to use this in the summertime. Next, I have two primers that I'm absolutely in love with. This is the Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. I am running out of this and it's very sad. The first thing I love about this is the packaging. It's so pretty. It's got this frosted glass bottom with this gold lid. This is the perfect primer that's not tinted. It's just going to smooth out your pores, make your skin overall look very smooth and blurred. It also gives your skin kind of this filter where it looks so flawless and ready for makeup. I don't find that this makes me greasy or oily or anything. It's just the perfect pore filling primer that also blurs and smooths out your skin. So this is like so good of a primer that's at Sephora. The other primer that I really love, and I've been putting a pause on using this because I'm so close to being done with it and I'm not ready to repurchase it yet. This is the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Pore Refining Primer. So many P's in this name. This comes with a pump, so it's a little bit more sanitary than the Tarte one. This also has a tint. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the color of it. So it's not too dark where it makes my skin look weird because I'm so fair. The tint I can work with. This also does a very similar thing to the Tarte one where it smooths, blurs, fills in your pores, everything you want from a pore filling primer, and it's a little bit more expensive than the Tarte one. So I would say if you want something that is blurring and pore reducing, I'd go for the Tarte one, but this also claims to absorb oil and mattify, so that this has like another level that I really love in a primer that the Tarte one does not claim necessarily to be. It doesn't claim to be super mattifying or to control oil, but this one does. So I love both. Next is a foundation from Too Faced. This is the Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. This has peach and sweet fig cream in it. It's oil-free, 14-hour wear, oil controlling, and photo-friendly. I wore this in a wedding that I was in not that long ago. The pictures looked so good of this foundation. It smells really nice. It can be a little overpowering for someone who is sensitive to smell. It is so good if you have oily skin. Like, it does not transfer when you like wipe your face on something and you have this on. You're not gonna have this huge mark that is swept off of your face. This stays a really long time on my skin. It's a little bit darker than I would like. I think I need to get a lighter shade for when I'm really fair. It comes in a pump, so I like that. It's travel friendly because it is a squeeze tube. You don't have to worry about breaking it. If you have oily skin or even combination skin, I would really recommend this foundation. Or if you're just like, if you're going to an event or something where you know that you're taking photos, this photographs very well. So I love this foundation so much. Next is the Fenty Beauty foundation, actually. This is the Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. This looks so good on my skin. Everything about this foundation I love. It photographs really well. It's a little bit darker than I would like it to be, so I don't wear it a ton other than when I do have a little bit more color to my skin. I have a harder time pulling it off when I'm super fair because you can see a line. It's a little too dark for me. I do in the future want to pick up a shade that does match me when I am fair, but this foundation applies so seamlessly. It blends so fast. It doesn't look like it's sitting on top of your skin or emphasize texture. It covers everything. I would say it's high medium coverage. Whenever I wear this foundation, I know that I'm having a good makeup day. This is a highlight from BECCA. This is the Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Champagne Pop. There are plenty of other shades out there if this one is too dark for your skin tone, which this is almost too dark for my skin tone. It's the one that's in collab with Jaclyn Hill. So that's the highlight right there on my hand. I would say that this is one of the most intense highlights that I do own, and I have to be a little careful applying it when I don't want super, super intense highlight on my skin. Like I can't really wear this to work because I feel like it's too much of a highlight. This is such a soft, buttery, shiny metallic formula that is so pretty on your skin, and I definitely think that nowadays it's a little overlooked because BECCA's not in the spotlight as they were before when they first collaborated with Jaclyn Hill. But I do still think that the Shimmering Skin Perfector formula is just like so good. This is an eyeshadow palette that is from the Sephora collection line. This is the I Love palette, and I have the Light Warm eyeshadow palette. There are a bunch of different shades of this and different themes. This is my favorite because if you are a beginner, this has every single eyeshadow you'd really want in an eyeshadow palette. It's small, it's travel friendly, they're pigmented. The bottom 3 shades right here are metallic. The top 3 are mattes, and then you also have something to set down your eyeshadow primer. But those are the metallic shades on my hand. This is such a good palette for the price. It comes with a mirror if you need one. I just really, really recommend that palette, especially if you're a beginner, because if you're like, there's so many eyeshadow palettes out there, I don't know which one to pick, and I don't know what colors look good on my eyes. If you bought this, you would be set. If you put any of these colors in your crease, you'd be fine. If you put any of these on your lid, you'd be fine. They work together really well. Like no one talks about these, and I don't know why, because I do think they are good. I do know that you guys have commented saying that some of the other eyeshadow palettes within this exact I Love line are a little patchy, like some of the jewel tone ones can be a little patchy, but I don't notice that with this palette at all. All of the shades in here are really, really good. All right, we're getting down to the wire here. I only have a few more products to share. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. This is expensive for a clear brow gel, but it lasts me a very, very long time. It keeps my eyebrows like in place the entire day. I don't ever have to worry about them like, you know, they are completely set down. It lasts such a long time on my brows. From the second I put it on till when I take my makeup off, I know that my brows are in place, and I do really like how big the wand is. It just like gets your whole eyebrow within one swipe. I have not tried other brow gels that set down your brow at Sephora, but I would say that this one is a really good one. If you don't really know what brow gel to get, I would recommend this one. Next, I have the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. It's so worth it if you work long hours like in your day, or if you have an event to go to, or if you just need your makeup to last a really long time and look really good. This is your best friend. There's not this horrible scent that comes with it. The sprayer is amazing. It doesn't leave little water droplets all over your face like some setting sprays can do, and this one actually does what it claims to do. This says that it is a long-lasting makeup setting spray. That's totally what it is. I have not found a setting spray that works better than this. I know that this is a little bit more expensive than some of the makeup setting sprays that you can buy at the drugstore, but I can tell you this is 100% worth the money. I do think that this is the best setting spray I have ever tried, and it lasts a really long time because it comes in this big bottle, so you cannot go wrong. Last 2 products are powders. The first one is the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. Again, if you have oily or combination skin, this is amazing. It does help control your oil, sets down your skin, and helps even blur out your skin a little bit and make it look very smooth. So there's nothing bad I can say about this powder. It doesn't have a scent. It's a little bit more expensive than I would like to pay for a powder, considering you only get 1 ounce of product. But I do think it's 100% worth it if you have oily skin or if your skin does tend to get a little bit greasy throughout the day. This is the game changer for me when it comes to powders. I used to use the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder 100% of the time. Now I use it maybe 20 or 30% of the time, and the rest of the time I use this. This is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Blurring Powder Foundation. This is flawless. This is magic in a pan. I have hit pan. I've never hit pan on a powder foundation before, or just a powder in general. It's so pigmented as a powder. Like, you could apply this just with the powder and call it a day. You don't even have to have any liquid or anything underneath of it, and it would still look amazing and last so long. But when you apply this on top of liquid foundation, it just takes it to another level. This powder automatically smooths out any foundation, any concealer you have on. It blurs your pores. You don't even have to apply a pore minimizing primer or like a fill-in pore primer. You can just apply this foundation and you're good to go. This makes my skin look the best it's ever looked ever with applying makeup. I know that you've been hearing probably a lot of this on YouTube, but believe the hype because it's there for a reason. It is such a good powder. I am considering buying one for my purse. I'm considering having one upstairs, having one down here. Like, I could buy so much of this powder. It is so good. And I've never been like diehard in love with one. This Laura Mercier one is good, but I think that this Makeup Forever one is better. I will probably continue to purchase this guy over the Laura Mercier powder, and that says a lot because I've been using the Laura Mercier one for years. So there you have it. Those are all the products that I think are totally worth your money at Sephora. If you have any of these products, feel free to let me know down in the comments. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on these. And granted, everything works a little bit different on different skin. So I may love something and you're like, no, that does not work for my skin because of this reason. Maybe you have a different skin type than me. Maybe you have different skin concerns than I do. I'm mainly looking for something to help with my big pores, smooth out my skin, make my makeup last a really long time, and also help control oil. So maybe those are not priorities for you, and maybe that's not something that you struggle with. Yeah, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can let me know by giving it a thumbs up. I hope you had a great day. I love you so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.